Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of Are We There Yet? Folks, we are not there yet, but we are getting there. We continue to change our business, the way we do things, the way we source things, the way we mark things down. Just we learn every day. It's a journey, and we are still on that journey, and we are making progress every day. So hang in there with us. Previous episodes went into how we started, why we started, went into our inventory and our process for listing items and processing items. And we've gone into how we process things, how we list things, how we manage things, how we manage our inventory. So check out some of those prior episodes. This time we're going to get into passive versus active reselling. I know, I just made that up. So what I mean by that is in the beginning, you know what, folks, I've got an agenda up here. This helps keep me on track. Remember the points that I wanted to bring up and to discuss. I also have a timer here to help me keep these somewhat brief. I don't want to ramble on forever, so this will kind of tell me, the timer will tell me when I think it's been a sufficient time, and I don't want to bore you. Anyway, so this episode, what I think we'll get into is passive versus active reselling. And I know I just made that up. But it is really our journey. It's where we've been and where we are now. So what I mean by passive reselling is we initially thought, and this is, we're still naive, we're still learning, but our old way of thinking was buy it and list it. It doesn't matter what it is, list it. It doesn't matter how you list it. Just get it out there, and it will sell. And back then, my thinking was, my kids are moving out of my house. We're becoming empty nesters. We got all kinds of space. How could we run out of room? Things are going to sell. Guess what? It doesn't work out that way. You do eventually fill up those rooms with inventory that you just having a real hard time moving. So as of late, we've really gone back, and we're going back over the old listings. And you've probably heard this end and sell similar. Well, we do that, but we do that with a purpose, because our listings in the beginning were garbage. And I don't mean that the product itself was garbage. Did we pay too much for it? Yeah, we paid too much for it. Did we charge too much for it? Yeah, we charged way too much for it. So going back and looking at those listings again, what can we do to improve the titles? What can we do to improve the descriptions, the photos? So we use we use Vendoo as a cross-listing platform, as well as our inventory management. But Vendoo allows us to, with the click of a button, delist from all the sites. We change the listing in the Vendoo form, and then we can go to each platform, and we can, with the click of yet another button, we can update those with those forms, those like Macari, Poshmark, Depop, all those. We can, with one click, refresh all of those forms and relist. Also paying attention to, can we change the, do we need to change, the pricing? The pricing is another thing. So we've been in the process, we kind of do that as we're doing an audit. So we'll go back through the boxes, or the bins, if you will, and ensure that those items are in the box or in the bin, as well as that they are listed. And so that way we can audit those and keep track of our inventory. We also refill those bins as they empty. You can look for another video that I have that goes into our inventory system. So enough with that. You know, that list and forget, those days are over. You really, at least it didn't work for us. Yeah, we made sales. Let me pull up a spreadsheet here and we can kind of see where we're at. So this is our sales spreadsheet. I say this about every video. I use this to record the sales across all platforms. I also use it as a pick list. So I'll go through our various locations of inventory and pick the items, and then this data then is transferred over to Vendu, so we have everything in sync. So everything is recorded in these sheets. And in the beginning, in 2021, when we started selling, we didn't have the greatest record keeping process. At least we were developing those processes and that. So some of these numbers that I'm going to show you may be because, well, we just didn't have the data to show. But I think that it will show enough, or give you enough of a glimpse of what I'm talking about here. If we go to historical, then, I should say that the sales, this is September's sale. So I have a spreadsheet for every month back to 2021. Crazy, right? And that's all out on Google Drive. And then this historical, excuse me, my voice is cracking. Honestly, I'm not going through puberty. But this historical then will pull the data from those spreadsheets and summarize them here, or what should I say, collect them and consolidate and plot them all out here so I can see what our numbers were in 2021, 2022, and 2023. This should give us an idea of our trends and how well we're doing. So we can see green being 2021, that we got off to a rough start. A lot of that has to do with what we were choosing to sell, how we were choosing to sell it. We were also brand new, so that has a lot to do with it as well. But you can see that we slowly started ramping up, and then we get into fourth quarter, summer fourth quarter, and that. And then you'll see in 2022 that we began making some headway here. It seems that spring is our best time. I tend to believe that that's because, well, people have gift cards from Christmas, maybe. Maybe it has something to do with tax returns. So people have more money, and obviously there was some stimulus that helped out there, I believe. And then the summers, as everyone would expect, begin to slow down. But anyway, so I guess what my point is here, that you can see that we have been getting better. We have been showing some progress, some success. And a lot of that success has to do with how we are selling now. Passive versus active. Passive being list it and leave it. List and leave. List and leave. Get as many items out there. The thought was, if the more variety you had, the more buyers you appealed to. Now, some of that is true, but who's going to pay $20 for a George t-shirt used? Not many, right? So you also have to kind of watch what you're picking up, what you're buying it for, and then what you're trying to sell it for. Also, people want a deal. They come to eBay. I believe they come to eBay for a deal. Not only is it convenient, you can sit on your couch, your sofa, peruse and look and shop, and in a couple days it'll be delivered. Now that's pretty darn convenient. But I believe people come to eBay for a deal. They're looking for you know, bargains. So we as sellers need to buy into or continue that perception of the buyer. Come to eBay as a buyer, you're going to get a good deal. So what do I mean by that? Well, let me go back to my agenda and make sure I cover these points. Well, do that through markdown sales. eBay has great markdown tools. I'm sure everybody's familiar with those. They're great. They're easy. You can run those, and people will see right away that they're getting a deal. It was $14. We want $9.60 for it now because it's on sale. I think another so that would be in my definition it's an active reselling. I'm not just listing it and waiting for it to sell. I am actively selling that item. I am baiting. I am throwing, my line out and trying to hook that fish. Coupons are another one. Store coupons. If you can combine those, a little bit of a markdown along with a coupon. Definitely those we have found have helped, and we've implemented into our business. Offers to likers. For a long time, I would not make an offer to a liker. Because I'd be like, well, hey, I already have it on sale. I already have a coupon. Make me an offer. Don't make me come to you. I have a different mindset now. Now, you watch an item of mine in my store, or like an item in my, in my closet or whatever. Boom, I'm going to send you an offer right away, especially these days. You'll hear it all over online. Sales are tough. They're tough to come by. So anytime you can get those sales. I also believe that every sale begats another sale. It's kind of like a snowball effect, if you will. I believe it. It'll increase your sell-through rate. I believe that will help. Push you forward and push your items maybe closer to the top, where they get seen more. Of course, you have ads. That's pretty controversial, but I don't know a business, like a retail brick and mortar that doesn't advertise. Who doesn't advertise? A grocery store. My goodness, you have to buy groceries. People have to buy groceries. Yet, every one of my grocery stores in the area are doing weekly ads. Right? They're promoting their items, their product. So of course, I believe in you have to advertise. Now, I sell on multiple platforms, so I tend to mitigate that by selling to multiple platforms, and I don't have promotions on those. So if I sell an item on there, I am kind of spreading that sale, those ads across all my sales, and that makes it look considerably smaller or less in what we're spending on those ads. Hey, we're getting pretty close. Looking about 2 minutes. As usual, I'm going to run over, so bear with me. So we talked about offers to likers, offers to watchers, offers on bundles. Somebody creates a bundle. That's usually Poshmark. That's pretty dominant on Poshmark. I'll send out an offer. And also bump on the shipping. I figure if I'm giving, if there's a 15% or 20% off sale on eBay, and that same item is on Poshmark, but it's not marked down, or there's not a sale, if somebody likes it or watches it, why not send them a 20% off or a 10% off with a shipping discount? It's kind of the same thing. Just get the thing sold, right? I need to move items because I need to get a bigger house, or I need to sell stuff, and I'll tell you, I'd rather sell the stuff. So that's kind of my spiel on active or passive versus active reselling, and where we're at today, and what our mindset is, and just how we're running our business. It may change. Stick around, keep watching. That strategy may change. Might have to pivot. Just all depends on what's selling, how it's selling, and Hey folks, we're about out of time. I'm going to go ahead and pause this timer, and take this last few minutes here and talk about some other videos or series that I do. There's one, Know Your Numbers. I do that on Sundays, and on that I will go over our numbers. What was our gross revenue across all platforms? What was our net? What did we spend on fees? What did we spend on ads? So all of that, and we'll compare that against every day over the week. We'll also compare that against, or this month to date, against last month and prior months. We'll also go back and we'll spend some time looking at this and how we fare, or how we're looking this year, or this month this year compared to last year's. So that is, if that's of interest for you, I encourage you to tune in on Sundays, or look for that on Sundays. The other one that we'll do, and this is on Tuesdays, we'll do a You Sold What. So no, I'm not going to go through every sale that we made, but I'm going to pick the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good being those that had the highest profit margin, those that had a so-so or bad profit margin, and then the ugly ones would be those where we ended up losing money on. Don't like to have too many of those, but it does happen, especially if you're still trying to get inventory off the shelves that A, you paid too much for, and B, have been there way too long and they're just not moving. So hey guys, my name is Rich, and I appreciate this time that you spent with me, and I hope to see you back. Thank you very much.